We are 7 sets deep in Scarlet and Violet. A lot of people left last year when the Scarlet and base came around, and also a lot of the flippers as well because they couldn't make their money. And also we've had a market crash as well, like from about November to February, March time. But now a lot of things are coming back up, especially Scarlet and Violet. The prices of some of the cards have gone up really high. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the top 10 most expensive cards from Scarlet and Violet. Let's start with the 10th most expensive card from Scarlet and Violet, and that is the Gardevoir. This one by far is the nicest one in the Scarlet and Violet era as of yet. The last one sold on eBay for $46.33. TCG player $55 and 59 cents. It came out in January, and let's have a look when it came out. So $49, almost $50. And then it went up a couple of days to $77. And then, like I say, the last one sold at $46.33, which is pretty nice to pick one of these up for that price. The Iono at 9 from Paldean Fates has obviously been the chase for Paldean for such a long time since it released. But now we have a new winner. That is the Magikarp. Magikarp is in the top 10, but we just have to wait and see whereabouts it's positioned. But for $68.00 from eBay, the last one sold on TCG Play at $77 and $5 as well. I have 2 of these myself in my collection. I know I go on about Japanese all the time, but I managed to pick up these quite cheap, so I'm happy with that. Let's have a look. I think it was quite expensive, wasn't it? So, like the PSA 9 and actually the Raw are kind of similar in price, which is pretty crazy. $85.20, and it's just had a little slight decline. Not much, though, to be quite honest. And we can see $68.05 for picking an Iono up. It has reduced a lot in price. So, you know, if you want one of these, it's probably a good time to pick one up. Well, that is entirely up to you guys. Iron Valiant was the first one I wanted from Paradox Rift. That was my chase. But I have changed my mind to Rory Moon. The more I look at Rory Moon, it looks absolutely fantastic. That Salamence, I absolutely love it. The last one sold on eBay for $69.91. TCG player is a bit cheaper, $61.83. Let's just have a look at this PSA 10 because it looks like out of this world. So $124. What's that? So November. So in a month span, really, $512 for the PSA 10. And then the maximum was $557, and it dropped back down. Someone was probably doing something around about there, and now you can pick one up for $182 in a PSA 10. Personally, I like to buy the singles and grade them myself. There's more self of like excitement when you get the 10 back or a 9, whatever it may be. Grading yourself is more enjoyable. But if you've got the money and you can afford a PSA 10 out of the gate, but if you go card conventions, make sure they're centered well. You know, make sure you look in the light, see if there's any scratches or anything like that. Look on the back, the centering as well. Obviously, the corners are all good on both sides. And also the white dots, splodges, whatever you want to call them. Have a look first of the whole card. If you think possibly it's going to be a 10, pick it up, and more than likely you'll get a 10. I'm not saying this is always the case, but it has happened to me when I've been card conventions. I've had a look, and I'm happy with it. This is a possible 10, worse a 9. But anyway, this is absolutely beautiful. We'll have a look at the raw side of things. Rory Moon. $104, and then obviously it's just that steady incline all the way down to $69. Again, it's the chase card for Paradox Rift, and it's a beautiful one as well. Like, you know, you can't deny the fact that that is a beautiful card. Raging Bolt from Temporal Forces. I haven't really indulged in Temporal Forces at all because I am saving my money for 151 and other little things, and also the Paldea Evolve side of things as well, because that's my favorite set from Scarlet and Violet. But Raging Bolt is a lovely looking card. The last one sold at $72 41 cents. TCG Player, so go over TCG Player if you want this. It's a lot cheaper at $57.64. Card Market is a lot dearer than anything else. So out of the gate, March 7th, $77. And it's really kind of the same it was. It's just come back up. We know Temporal Forces is a smaller reprint. Well, not reprint, sorry, a smaller print. So obviously, a lot of cards have literally stayed quite high because, again, the cards, the ones that you want, are quite difficult to pull. I don't know, what is it, like 801 or something like that? We've had to come over to TCG Player because Pokédata.io won't give me any information about Morty's conviction at all, but it's $74.99. For me, it's quite expensive considering the set has only come out and the card's only just obviously been released. But Morty's conviction, I'd prefer if it was a bigger Gengar. Hopefully later on in the year, we get another Gengar, but it's a lot nicer Gengar than we have here. But we can see out of the gate here, so $44 it started off with. It seems like people are just buying out, like one person or two people are buying out all the Morty convictions and then putting them back on the market. Hence probably why it went up to about $91. And it's the most expensive card, I think. No, it's not. It's the second most expensive card we have from Temporal Forces. And then it's just come back down to $72. A lot of people, guys, are buying it. 28th, 27th. All these 112 Neomint Blight played 25th. This month's been actually going crazy for this Morty's conviction. Well, let's go on the other one and find out which is in the other slot. Magikarp from Paldea Evolved is the chase card now that everyone's after. A lot of people saying it's underrated, but I don't think it's underrated at all. Probably for the price, maybe, but it's been over a year now since Paldea Evolved has come out, so I'm on the fence there. It's a beautiful artwork, but the last one sold for $85.51. TCG Player, $101.33. Let's have a look at the PSA 10s. This is crazy. Let's have a look at this. $318. Now, in April, $572. But again, I can't stress enough, guys. If you've got the money, fair enough. If you want a PSA 10, do whatever you do. But for me, I would let you go to your local store, a card convention, examine the card yourself, do the 3-point rule, the corners, the blemishes, the centering, and go from there. If you think you've got a 10 or a possibly 9 and you've paid $85 for it and you send it off, you get that 10, you are absolutely laughing. That's how I do things. It is more exciting doing and disappointing as well because you're expecting a 10. But nevertheless, it's always cheaper to send the single off instead of paying $572 for this card. A fan favorite, the Mew EX from Paldean Fates. This is the second chase card for this set. eBay last sold $93. TCG Player, a lot cheaper, like just under $10 cheaper, which is $83.79. Again, go over to TCG Player if you want one of these. But these 10s, I don't know what's going on with these 10s. It's absolutely crazy. In February, $444. It's just absurd. That is crazy. It's been out just over a month, and it's that much for a PSA 10 already. And now you can get them for $262. That is crazy. So it was $165 when the set came out. And it's just been in like a decline for the raw side of things. And then obviously it's just plateaued a little bit, starting to come back up to $93. Again, it's a beautiful artwork. It really is. I love like these. Don't get me wrong, it's like quite childish, but I do like the simplicity of a drawing, and it's a beautiful Mew. The only one from 151, and that is the Charizard EX, which again, it's a nice Charizard, don't get me wrong, but the last one sold $107. I think the Blastoise comes in as second, like the second chase, and I think it's like $43. So Charizard is absolutely taking the first position in chase card for 151. TCG Player, $111.99. So again, not really a massive margin between eBay and TCG Player. Last 6 months, it doesn't make, like, you know what I mean? You've got like the Mew and obviously the Magikarp literally gone up in price, but the Charizard for the PSA 10 is tanked in price, starting over $684. Now you can pick it up for $312. Let's have a look at the raw. So $116. So it's not really lost any momentum really for a raw. It's kind of not, no, it hasn't really. And you could pick one up for $107. Again, it's a beautiful artwork, and I'm just as surprised. I know it's a Charizard, but like, see, the Blastoise is miles and miles away from the chase card. It is absolutely crazy. The Iron Crown from Temporal Forces. This one on eBay is more expensive, but obviously the Charizard that we've just viewed on TCG is more expensive, but ideally a lot of people can access eBay a lot better and a lot more than TCG Player. So that's why I've gone it about this way. But $111 for the Iron Crown. Again, it's quite majestic, to be quite honest, this Iron Crown. I love the artwork, and I love it on that bonsai tree as well, which is absolutely beautiful. Let's have a look when it came. So it was $70 when it came out, and it's just had that steady incline to about 115. Then it seems like it's just dropped off a little bit. But again, it's because the print is smaller. The cards are so much tougher to pull, which I quite like that side of things. Yes, we want all people to get what they want, but also just to keep that, I suppose it's like a gambling side of things, isn't it? Because you want the chase. It's not easy to get the chase. So Pokemon understand this, so you keep buying these packs. But if you don't want to buy packs, just buy the single and happy days. So this is the nicest terrestrialized Charizard we've had. We've had so many so far in Scarlet and Violet. I know it's kind of like a print and copy thing, but this one is absolutely beautiful. $125, $65. Last one sold. TCG Player, $113.02. This one is absolutely beautiful. A really nice Charizard. But nevertheless, let's have a look. I want to look at these PSA 10s because these PS 10s have thrown me completely off. So, like, almost £1,000? Are you actually kidding me? Or $1,000? That is crazy. But again, you've got the Magikarp and other ones that are going the opposite way. Like, it's so crazy, you know. And then, obviously, it's just dropped down to $304. So $307 for a PSA 10. Last one sold on eBay. Again, I can't emphasize enough, if you can make it to card conventions in your local store, if you've got one of these, have a look, and you can make profit that way. Or if not, just, you know what I mean, you've got a 10. Honestly, you can literally, like, physically see if it's any good to send off for grade. You can do that yourself instead of paying a lot of money. But if you do want it in a 10 and not have, you know, all this you've got to do, like get the card, send it off for grading, all that either. If you just want it, then go for it. But for me, like I said before, guys, it's so much easier just to pick the card up and grade yourself. There's so much more that you get out of it when you get that 10. But nevertheless, $310 for the raw, and then it's just had that steady decline. And then obviously $125. 10 from Scarlet and Violet. There's some really fantastic artworks in there. And like I say, the Charizard takes pole, which you probably would expect. But that Gardevoir, again, I think that is a lot nicer card than some of them. But again, Temporal Forces, the smaller print. We'll have to wait and see what Twilight Masquerade bring, because they bring some really nice, decent artworks as well. And apparently, that's going to be in short print too. So the price for them might have come up. So probably the next couple of months, we might do another video just to see how things are performing. But on that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.